Well, good morning from the Daniel Boone National Forest. And before you start thinking there, Alana and I are still very much socially distant, but we had to get out of the house, and I really wanted to get back down here. If you remember last time I visited, and I'll post a link up overhead. We did visit Double Pine Island, or Pine Island Double Falls. That was a great set of falls. But then we got skunked by the following two. So I have done some additional recon, and also, like I mentioned in that video, there's a little bit of a time limit here. In fact, the road is closed that we went on last time to try to get to these falls, and that's because logging is scheduled in much of the area. So I'm really wanting to capture these falls before they're possibly changed for at least my lifetime. In addition, I've packed 2 fuel jugs. We use 3/8 of a tank of gas to get here, and then I've got 10 gallons in Scepter fuel jugs in the truck ready to go, which the camera is actually sitting on. So in all likelihood, we are gonna get down here, spend a day in the woods looking for waterfalls and trying to get back to those two, and get all the way home and likely not see anything other than some wildlife. So we're still staying very socially distant, and maybe that's me and Alana, maybe that's us looking for loopholes, but it is what it is. We're trying to be right, but we also want to live our life. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. I'm probably not going to talk too much because this is literally heading towards a GPS spot in the woods, not really a hiking trail. And that's that. So see you in a bit. Well, unfortunately, I think once again I have been licked by Lick Branch Falls. Last time Alana and I were here, we tried to come in on the east side and downstream. We never were able to find a place to drop in. This time we tried from the south, also on the east side, weren't able. We ended up finding another hiking path. Presently, we're about 6 miles of hiking in with 2.2 miles back out of here. And the thing about it is, a lot of what we're hiking, it's not on a hiking trail. It's literally hiking through bush. So there's a lot of up and down. My GPS says that I've got about 600 to 700 foot of elevation gain in that 2.2 miles out of here. We have been wading and switching boots back and forth. You can maybe see if I can control those highlights a little bit back there. Back there behind me, little waterfalls. We keep having to jump up over rocks and everything and downstream. It's really been an amazing day, but so far really unsuccessful. I took you've already seen the one photo of some waterfalls that weren't even planned. They were just on another route that we were trying. And I had some highlights on the left, so I'm hoping on the way back out the sun will be in a little bit of a different place. We do have a few others that I feel much more confident we should be able to get to. And rather than continuing this very slow progress upstream, I think we're going to switch over to do that. So it's been a great day. I apologize for not sharing much, but honestly, this has taken everything just to keep our footing and staying safe. In fact, along this walk, I've got 2 ropes hanging off where we've had to kind of scale down into the stream back and forth. So yeah, that's that. I will update you at the next location, but been licked by Lick Branch again. Well, hello from another day. Alana and I ended up throwing the towel in yesterday in its entirety. The climb back up and out of that hike where we gave up at Lick Branch Falls ended up being 1,100 feet of elevation gain, and it just had us plumb tuckered. And with storms looming off in the distance, we just called it. And yeah, that's it. So we got home late last night, showered, cleaned up, had a nice night's rest. Those storms stretched all the way from Kentucky up through Ohio. We did get them last night, so everything's pretty muddy here. And here is Deer Creek State Park back in Ohio. Keegan was willing to come along as long as we kept the hike kind of small. So yeah, I just wanted to check out some of these smaller loops with the family. They're up ahead just a bit, and I'm hoping I can find a composition. I am loving the very, very spring greens, along with sort of that wet, dark brown, dark, the trees that kind of pop out. So I'm going to look around and try to be inspired by an Adam Gibbs type photography or scene. That's something that I really, really struggle with. And well, anyway, let's see what we can get into. All right, well, we just wrapped up Van Horn Loop here in at Deer Creek, and yesterday, I want to back up a little bit. So yesterday, a lot of what we did wasn't on an official trail in the Daniel Boone, and that's okay. In the Daniel Boone National Forest, it's all right to just sort of hike and even do some backcountry camping throughout that national forest, which is pretty awesome. For us where we live, that's about a 3-mile trip, or a 3-hour, I'm sorry, trip south for us. And Alana and I both really love the area. I honestly feel like with Hocking Hills and sort of that area being about an hour and a half for us, and most of the hiking that we get into being about an hour from our home, it is absolutely worth the extra drive to get that little bit further south and into that area. There was one trail that we did. It was, what was it, honey? The Rock Castle Narrows East Trail. I think it's a little over a 5-miler if you kind of stuck to that and wasn't trying to hunt for a bunch of the waterfalls that are in the hollows there near it. There are some waterfalls you can see. In fact, that's exactly where I took the one image of the waterfalls, even though the light wasn't that great. As far as here in Ohio, especially after a rain, man, here at Deer Creek, it is a muddy mess. And we started to do another trail here, kind of catty corner, goes over by the lake, but we're making an abort just because of the mud, and Keegan's feet are starting to hurt him. So I guess I'll take this opportunity to talk about the fact, this is, I think, what I want to do most of the time with this channel. I don't want to get into what I'm not going to do any more of, but I will say, having dabbled in the how-to videos, didn't have as much fun is sharing some of the travel along with the photography that I take type of vlog and videos. So I think I'm going to focus more on that. And yeah, I say a little muddy. Check this out. Yeah, a little muddy. So if I'm a little distracted while I'm talking, that's why. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy that. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do how-tos. If I think there's a huge gap, I may tackle that. But in truth, there is a lot of good channels out there. If you're curious, look over at some of the other channels that I subscribe to, people I've labeled it who I'm inspired by, and those people are doing some amazing tutorials, and really don't think I'm adding much to the YouTube world on that. What I do think I can add to is what I would call weekend and day travel for outdoor adventure enthusiasts, maybe with a side of photography interest, here in the southern Ohio, and anything we can get to on a weekend, sprinkled in with a few other big trips if we can ever get traveling again. So I think I'm finding a direction with this channel. Let me know what you think of that. Thanks for following along on this very odd vlog, and hit the subscribe if you like those changes. See you next week. Bye bye.